What's up guys, we're back again with another WordPress plugin review. Today we're going to be looking at Contact Form 7. Now this is by far one of the most popular form plugins there is, with over 10 million active installations. Now I'm going to assume, because this was like the go-to, everyone would always say, oh, Contact Form 7, that's one, but obviously in the meantime there's been a lot of other ones that have come out. Now I've had a bit of experience, but I'm not going to let that cloud my judgment at all. Let's just go ahead and install it, and we'll go along the process of creating a form. As it says, simple but yet flexible. That is true. Another simple one that I did like was actually Ninja Forms, and we'll have a little thing coming up on the screen now if you do want to check out a review for Ninja Forms. But let's get right into it. So, as with the other contact forms that we've done so far, we have it's on the left-hand side, which I like. It's very easy to get to, and it just says Contact. Here we have Contact Forms, Add New, and Integration. One of the things with Contact Form 7 is that it is quite simple. They weren't joking when they said simple. You literally have your form, so you can add a new form, or you can add an integration to a form. That's it. Now, one of the problems with this, I'm just going to get over straight away, is the fact that you can't see your submissions on the plugin itself. Now, I do have, and there's another thing popping up on the screen now, of a separate plugin that will record all the submissions that you get. However, just be mindful that just with the plugin Contact Form 7, you don't get them. So you don't get the submissions, and if you haven't set up your emailing account like a SMTP or something like that with Brevo, potentially MailPoet if you set up your mailing with them, your form won't get sent through either. So if you haven't got your mailing sent out, you won't get your form sent through, and you won't get your form on the list, so potentially it's lost in the ether. So I just wanted to get that out straight away. So if we have a look at Contact Forms, I'm not sure if they actually provide one. Okay, they do provide one. So we've got a nice contact form, a nice simple one here. We've got the shortcode for it, so it's easy to put onto a page or a post, and we've got the option to edit or duplicate. So let's just go ahead to edit. Now, one of the other things with Contact Form 7 is that it's primarily done with code. So as you can see, it's not like the other forms. We actually have the label, and then we have what the label's called, and then we sort of have like the function underneath. It's not usually the best for a beginner. They have made it somewhat easier by adding these little templates on top. So for instance, if I'd come down and I want to add a URL part, I can click on URL. Here it will give me the settings, and then I can insert the tag, which will then put it in there for me. This will then update the shortcode. The shortcode you can then use to paste anywhere on your website. So the actual making of the form is not the easiest. I mean, if you want just a simple form, it basically will give you just a simple form here. And I suppose you can just fill out the details. Obviously, compared to something else like the Formidable Forms, it's quite different building up your form essentially, and pretty much everything is done like that unless you actually know how to write code better yourself. I don't myself, so I would be using this. So for instance, the submit button here, again, click on submit, would add the label, so submit, the ID attribute, 1, 2, 3, class attribute, let's go ahead and insert tag. So that's primarily how we build the form. Next, let's go to mail. This is the mail template for sending or receiving the form. It's usually what will be sent to the site admin, and it will say you have had this form submitted. Now, again, back to what I was saying before, if you don't have your mailing system set up, as you can see here, setting up mail, it won't be delivered. So essentially will be lost somewhere. If we go up to messages over here, we can change the messages for stuff like errors or something's not done right if they haven't entered a number in the area where they're supposed to enter a number. So obviously there is editability, and I will just give you one tip about this. So for instance, on the form here, if you're not sure how to do stuff, go to ChatGPT, even without a paid account, use the free account, and it will create this for you very nicely. You can actually say, I want this and this and that for Contact Form 7. It's very well versed in how it likes the forms put together, and it will then give you the code that you can directly copy and paste into this form. It will save you a lot of time, and you need no experience. You can just tell ChatGPT to do that, essentially. Now over to additional settings. Here's where you can customize code snippets. Again, a little bit more advanced. So now that is primarily it. I just want to make that clear. That is pretty much it. It's a very simple way to make a form. You do need a bit of knowledge. If not, use something like ChatGPT, or of course guides online. Sometimes if you just want a simple form, this will do. If you don't have too much experience, this might be a little bit harder to set up, or a little bit more frustrating, because there's a bit of a learning process. Once you're done, of course, with the form, let's go ahead and hit save. And unfortunately, from what I can see, we don't even have a preview form, so we can't actually see what the form looks like. In fact, to lie, what we can do is we can actually use the shortcode, and let's go ahead to a post and add it in somewhere. So with the shortcode block, I'm just going to paste it right into there, and let's go ahead and preview it. So there we go, our very simple form. I mean, to be honest, if you do just want a simple contact form like that, this might be the one for you. However, if you don't have your mailing set up, If you're not too confident with using like lines of code, maybe not for you. However, a simple way to make a contact form. If we come over to the integrations part, this will have the common integrations that you can use on here, stuff like Brevo, that will be the mailing system. It used to be called Sendinblue, however, it will allow you free emailing and for the mail to get sent to you. Askimit, spam protection, reCAPTCHA, very important so you don't get absolutely spammed to death by bots. Stripe for payment, and you know, they do have one more, my scroller's not working very well. Constant contact. They would not recommend using it, it's depreciated. So a very simple plugin, something that will get you started. However, it doesn't have like the biggest usability or the most amount of features, and it's a little bit hard to use. So perhaps depending on what skills you have and how your website is set up to whether you actually use this contact form for your website. I have more form reviews popping up on the screen now. If you haven't already, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more videos like this popping up on your YouTube or anywhere else that you might be watching this video.